Hi everyone, thank you for checking out A Bit Better Yoga. Today we have a power flow sequence for better posture. So we'll work on strengthening the muscles in the back of our body, starting in a tabletop position. So the shoulders are over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. We're going to start with a cat-cow pose and do that 5 times. So for your cow pose, drop the belly, lift the chest and gaze. For your cat, round through the spine, tucking the chin to chest. Come down for cow, gaze goes up if it feels good. Come back through cat, tucking the tailbone. I think this is 3 here for your cow pose. And cat pose, really broaden the upper back. As you drop the belly for cow, shoulders come away from the ears, rounding the spine for cat. Last one, round the spine, cat pose. Come back to your spinal balance. Extending the right leg out long. Left arm reaches straight forward. Get nice and long, keeping the spine flat. And then we're going to crunch the knee to the nose in 5 times. 1, 2, stretch out nice and long. 3, round the spine as you crunch in. Engaging the abdominals the entire time to keep your stability. This is the last one here. As you reach out long, we're now going to bend back into that right foot and see if you can reach it with the left hand. If you have it, kick into the hand and stretch the chest up. Release the foot if you have it, crossing the right leg over the left, finding a little side stretch here. Look over the left shoulder at that right ankle. Feel a good stretch to the right side of the waist. Now let's do the other side. So refind your table, stretch the left leg out long, right arm reaches forward, get nice and long here, hips are level. And when you're ready, we're going to crunch it in for 5. So bring that elbow to the knee as you round the back when you crunch, and this is 2. 3, 4, really use the abdominals here. 5, and now stretch it out long, hold it here, bend into the back knee and see if you can reach around with that right hand and grab the left foot. If you have it, kick into the hand to expand the chest because we're also opening the muscles in the front of the body today. Release the foot if you have it, crossing the left leg over the right, and then see if you can peek over that right shoulder at the left foot or ankle. Good stretch for the side of the waist, the whole of the leg really. Refind your table, and tuck the toes, lift the hips, find your downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet just to kind of get into it here. Hips are nice and high, pressing in through the hands. Letting the heels melt if it feels good. Lift the right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee and stack the right hip on top of the left. We're going to bring that right knee forward to our nose as we shift into plank and do that 5 times. So this is 1. Then stretch that right leg straight back into that open hip position. Crunch it in for 2. Stretch it back, open up the hip. Shift forward, crunch in for 3. You've got it. Come on forward for 4, shoulders over the wrists. Stretch it back. This is our last one here. Crunching it in. Send it back, open up the hip. It should feel good. Stretch the leg out long. Come to down dog, and then sit back on the heels. We're going to rise up to stand on our shins and find our camel pose. So hands to the low back. Lift the chest up as you lean back, pushing the hips forward. Maybe those hands reach back for those heels. Otherwise, you can just stay up with the hands on the low back. It's perfectly good here. It's a big stretch for the front of the body. All right, we're going to do the other side. So refind your downward facing dog, hips are high. Then lift that left leg up to the sky when you're ready. I need to pedal out my feet, of course. Bend the knee and open up the hips, stacking them one on top of the other. And then swing that knee around as we shift forward 5 times, knee to nose. Stretch that left leg up, open up the hip right away. Come back around, crunch it in for 2. Crunch it in for 3. You've got it by now. 4. And 5. Good work. Stretch it up and then open the hip. Straighten the leg. Find your down dog and come to those shins. Sit back on the heels. We're going to do camel again, but maybe you want to come into it a different way. So let's start from the bottom. Hold on to those heels, maybe tuck the toes, and then press the hips forward as the chest lifts to the sky. Only press up and move those hips forward as much as feels good on your low back. You want the tailbone to be pointing straight down in camel. It's a big back bend here. Sit back on down to those heels. And when you're ready, we're going to find our way to a plank position. So the shoulders are over the wrists. Abs are nice and engaged. Let's lift the left foot up, then the right foot. Shift on to the left hand, peel the right arm up to the sky, side plank. Come back through center. Left foot up, right foot up. Shift on to the right hand as we pivot and lift the left hand, side plank. One more time. Left foot up, right foot up. Keep those hips level, but now peel and pivot, side plank. Right arm reaches. Left foot, right foot. Come on to the right hand, peel the left arm up, using those obliques, and then press the hips back, downward facing dog. And shift forward to a plank position when you're ready. And immediately let's lower down to forearm plank, elbows under the shoulders. We're going to tap the opposite shoulder with our hand 10 times, starting with the right hand. Left hand taps right shoulder. Right hand, left hand taps right shoulder. Just keep alternating in this way, trying to keep your hips nice and level. Engage the hamstrings and press through the heels, supporting the whole body in this plank here. Let's lower our hips to the earth and then lower ourselves all the way down, forehead to the mat, resting on top of the hands. We're going to go through some locust positions here. So keep the lower half of your body firmly planted into the mat. We're going to start by lifting just our elbows and forehead, which is glued to our hands here. So find your inhale and lift up and lower. Now just lift the lower body. So feet and thighs, lower it down. Lift just the upper body. Nice. Just the lower body. Good for the back here. And now let's really give it a test. Lift everything up. Forehead and feet and thighs and elbows. Lower down. Let's do it again. Lift just the upper body. Just the lower body. Hips press into the mat. Upper body lifts. Relax those shoulders. Lower down. Lower body lifts. You so got this by now. And now we're like Superman. Lift everything up. Really press that tailbone towards the heels. Maybe you bring those hands to cactus arms. Keep breathing here. You've got it. Bend those knees. You've still got it, right? See if you can grab onto those feet. And if you have those feet, kick into the hands and find your bow position. If you're still hanging out in lotus and you're breathing hard, you're doing the work, man. Release the feet if you have the bow. Yes. And mindfully make your way to a forearm table. So our forearms stay planted on the mat. As we lift our hips to come over the knees, we're going to do fire hydrant pulses. So keeping that right knee bent 90 degrees, lift the heel to the sky and pump it up 5 times. Then extend the foot out long and pump again 5 times. Really use those glutes and hamstrings. Then we're going to bend back into the knee and crunch it into the nose around the spine. Lift it up to the fire hydrant 5 times. You've got it. And repeat that straight-legged, pumping up 5 times. And then crunch that knee into the nose, round the spine. And find your table. Left leg Take that 90-degree angle and pump 1, 5 times. Extend it out long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crunch the knee to the nose. Let's do it again. 1, 2, bent knee. 5, stretch it out long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crunch that knee into the nose. Good work. Now let's find our forearm plank here. So taking the legs out long, shoulders are over the elbows. And let's dip our hips to the right, shifting onto the outer edges of the feet. Dip it down. Then take it to the left. That's 1 time. Then take those hips to the right. This is time number 2, to the left. Keep those hips as level and stable as possible as you dip it to the left for 3. Then to the right, to the left, coming back through center, lower the hips down. I think you got away with 1. I only gave you 4 here. Let's lower our forehead to the earth. All of that work for our abs and low back. Take the hands out wide, come onto the fingertips and see if you can press into those fingertips, lifting yourself up into a high cobra. Only lift up as much as feels good here. Really, tailbone is pressing to the heels, elbows to the sky as we lower down. All right, shoulder opener, stretching that right arm out long, bending into the left foot, pressing that left hand into the mat, roll over onto your right side. Really feeling a big stretch through the right shoulder and the right pec or the chest muscle. So you can see here that my left foot is planted behind my right thigh. And I'm lying on my right side. And I'm trying to reach my left fingers to find my right. That is totally optional, guys. You're getting a huge chest stretch here just by lying on your side and shifting that weight into or towards the left foot. Roll back on down to your belly. Let's do the other side. So stretch that left arm out long if you're not touching the wall. Press into the right hand so you can roll onto your left side. The right leg might come behind you and maybe even reach the floor. And just like before, you can reach that right arm around and see if you can clasp the left fingertips. Or you can just enjoy this shoulder opener. So much when we slouch and encourage bad posture, our shoulders are rounding forward. This is a great one to remind our chest and our shoulders what it's like to open up. Pressing down to your belly and then pressing back. Let's find a child's pose. Hips to the heels. Maybe the knees are nice and wide and the belly just rests between the thighs. Forehead melts to the earth. So we did all this strengthening today with the fire hydrants and planks for the abs. A strong back body and a strong core really helps to stabilize the spine so that we can sit up with integrity and sit up nice and tall. Then opening through the shoulders, as I just mentioned, really reminds us that our shoulders can be back and down and relaxed. We have a nice confident posture that feels good for the body too. So it's a physical and mental benefit. Let's just take a moment to find that here, sitting back on our heels. Picture or even see and feel the shoulders over the hip bones and the neck aligning over the shoulders. The chin's not jutting forward. It's nice and neutral. Maybe parallel to the earth. Feeling tall through the spine and feeling what that does for our confidence, our ability to feel like we can take on the day and whatever comes our way. Thanks so much for joining me today. That's all she wrote. It's quick power flow, building up some strength and bettering our posture. Hope to see you again next time.